You hear that? At Carhartt, that sizzle's the sound of a job well done. Because it takes a lot of this before you deserve to hear this. But as long as you're willing to put in the time it takes to earn this beautifully grilled, grass-fed piece of perfection, Carhartt has the gear you need to put this sizzle on repeat this spring. See all our new spring gear or find the Carhartt closest to you at carhartt.com/steak.
Trojan Condoms presents Less is More at the pharmacy.
Next.
There's something we don't understand.
Well, that's what a pharmacist is here for, to answer all of life's most pressing questions.
These condoms you sold us? I mean, there's less condom.
And we feel so much more together.
You're talking about Trojan Bearskin.
We got so close.
We felt so close.
Trojan, America's trusted #1 condom brand, brings you Bearskin. 40% thinner than our regular condom for 100% pleasure.
So less is more.
Exactly.
Trojan, you can't wait to get it on.
When you take 6 friends and combine them with 6 cans of delicious ice-cold Coke, each able to help you save big on Coca-Cola 4th Fest at Six Flags, daily June 30th through July 4th, you create the Six-Pack, a rogue band able to score exclusive 1-hour early ride times on select coasters when you bring a can of Coke, topped off by fireworks all 5 nights. So grab an ice-cold Coke and head to Six Flags. Visit sixflags.com for details.
Unresisted we bleed. And when all love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in their line, past that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing
Yo, it feels bad, man. I have a lower KD than you.
You hear that? At Carhartt, that sizzle's the sound of a job well done. Because as long as you're willing to put in the time, Carhartt has the gear you need to put this sizzle on repeat this spring. Find your gear or the closest Carhartt at carhartt.com/steak.
Children can't focus on an empty stomach, and many families can't afford breakfast every day. This simply isn't right. I'm JB Pritzker, and I think that every child deserves a chance to learn. Which is why I've supported nonprofits in Illinois to provide a healthy breakfast to children from low-income families, so they can have a better shot at academic success.
Paid for by JB for Governor.
At Raising Cane's, we have one love.
Serving up the best chicken finger meals around. Sure, it takes plenty of hard work.
But all work and no play
makes chicken a dull bird.
So we bring the energy.
And the good times. Every day.
And we absolutely love
when you join in on the fun.
Because we know that when we love being here, so will you. This is our Cane's.
And we're at our best
when we're at your service.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
You know I make you feel good. Don't you wanna feel good, good, good? Sometimes I wish that we could go back before you got hurt, hurt, hurt. When before I was scared, now I'm feeling prepared. Don't you wanna feel good? Don't you wanna feel good, good, good?
When you say you were leaving, I thought that you meant it. I played the victim, you start as indifferent. Hindsight comes standard with rose-colored lenses. Hate to admit it, you're better off. Now you're too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. Too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses.
Hello people of the internet, this is Red Cube Everything as I almost just fall back into my wall, but we are good to go here. Wow, my camera is messed up. That is one reason why we do this pregame thing. I don't know why it's so high. Let me see if I can... Oh, Jesus. There we go. Alright, so guys, as you all know, if you're just new to the stream, we do this little thing in the beginning where I take about a minute here or so to look over all of the stream, make sure everything is okay, make sure all the overlays are looking good. And on my end, everything does look fine. Sorry about that slight delay. Not only did my stream crash, but Ubisoft decided that they didn't want to make a custom game, so I had to wait a couple minutes. I don't know why. But we are good to go here. I'm not seeing anything wrong with the overlay as of yet. I'm looking through all the scenes real quick on my second monitor, and everything does seem pretty good. So I think we can get into this game fairly quickly. Everything does look fine. I apologize as well because you guys all know this is a lone ship so far. So if there is an overlay error, or if there's an error in my microphone, as I say that, I kind of want to turn this up a little bit. If there's an error in my microphone or things like that, feel free to tell me. I'm open to suggestions so much. That is kind of what makes this better and what makes everything better. But we're going to be able to get into this match as soon as possible. Everything looks good on my end. Obviously, there is a huge delay. I've increased that delay significantly today, as yesterday there was a slight delay, but I decided to make it a little bit more to make it a little bit more fair to the players. Obviously, that means I lose the interaction I have with you guys, but I think it all matters to the players. This is the Players League, not the Casters League. So that's exactly why I did that. So I think we're good to go here. I think I'm going to start it up, and we'll be right away into this game. Hello people of the internet, this is Red Cube Everything coming at you with the second match of Day 2 of Week 1. Wow, that is a lot to get out, but it is going to be Sharx going up against the Admirals. This is basically an aquatic battle because you have, over there, you have the battleship on top against the shark on the bottom, and if you're just looking at it based on the logos, obviously I'm pretty sure the battleship would win unless that's a really big shark. But obviously that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at how good these players play at Siege. And that's also very hard to look at because not only is it the first week, but we've actually never seen, not once, have we seen any of these players play. I'm pretty sure we've seen a couple streams from these players, but that's really all we can take away from it. We can't look at their stats, we can't look at their strats, we can't look at the way they play, so we're really at a shot in the dark here. The only thing we really can do is watch them play, get it developed as we go into the next couple weeks, and the more we watch players play, the more we watch things develop, that's when we can kind of display a new prediction, display a new kind of way of looking at this match. But as of right now, as it is Week 1, and we'll probably start seeing this as well into Week 2, until the season really starts getting rolling, we can't make any predictions. But the one thing I can say, and I do know, is Sharks have a lot riding on this game. A lot of pressure is on them, and you know what they say, pressure shapes legends. So can Sharks live up to that pressure, or could they collapse? Are Admirals going to be able to pull one right out from under them in Week 1, or is Sharks going to live up to all of the hype? There's a lot of it surrounding them. Can they fill the bubble? We don't know. As I just realized, I've made about 3 aquatic puns there, all unintentional. But we should be good to go here. We are going to be seeing the maps of Clubhouse, the new and improved Clubhouse. It's going to be interesting to see. We haven't seen that yet. And Villa, no matter what, too. So 2 maps we haven't seen at all. It's going to be interesting. One map so new, which is Villa. I don't even have a map cinematic for it. So as you guys all know, I go through all of the maps, and then it pops onto the cinematic that we're playing on. I don't have one for Villa. So we won't be getting that. I apologize. But of course, we're going to be getting the game. And as we talk about the game, we can get right into that right now. I'm pretty sure all of the players are ready. Let me just make sure that everyone is good in game, and we can get this rolling. All the players are fairly ready, and I'm pretty sure everyone is good to go here. So I'm going to get right into it. Enough of me talking. Let's see what Sharks and the Admirals can do in Game 2, Day 2 of Week 1 of R6AL. Alright guys, we are good to go, as obviously I already see something that is wrong. The, what's it called? The overlay at the top is incorrect. Let me just get, oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh my Jesus. There we go. Overlay is now all correct. Those keybinds are a little bit confusing, but they do come in handy. So we are going to be seeing the Sharks coming out with, actually TRA coming out with the ban. That is my fault, as the first team to ban is always the defense. They're coming out with the Thermite. Ban upon a no balls. If they do that, that will be interesting. No hard breachers. This will be a very, very interesting... this will be a very, very interesting league match. And this is going to be interesting. I think it might actually be Glaz. Yes, it is going to be Glaz coming out. Glaz with his new fire rate and his, I guess you could say, nerf, is definitely a reason why we've seen him getting banned. The most banned operators so far has been Lion and Blackbeard. They have both been tied with, I think, 87% of matches have been banned between those two. So those two are the operators that we've seen on attack that have been banned the most. We haven't seen them here, so it's good to get like a little bit of a fresh set. We've also seen Echo getting banned here. He, with his new double drones, I guess you could call them, or just having 2 drones. That is also a new nerf, I mean not nerf, that is definitely a buff that many people have been using Echo for, as well as Maestro is getting banned. So 2 site denial and plant denial operators have just been kicked out of the defensive rotation. It's going to be interesting to see how these teams kind of react to that, and if they are going to be able to get those plants down considerably quicker, considering there is no Echo and there is no Maestro. The only one to really hold down the site then will be that Smoke. Obviously, Smoke is the most picked defensive operator, so we're going to most likely see him time and time again. This is going to be interesting. So, as we know, Sharx is a very hyped up team. We have seen a lot of people surrounding them and saying, okay, these guys are our most feared. These are our biggest competition. This is what we have to look out for. Is that going to hold true here, or are we going to see Ruthless Admirals get put onto everybody's radar? I think that's what happened yesterday. Going into the Crescent Blade Mystery Incorporated match, I feel like a lot of people put a little bit more hype onto Crescent Blade. And then we saw Mystery Incorporated play out of their minds. Can we see that here? A lot of hype is surrounding Sharx. Will TRA or the Ruthless Admirals play out of their minds? It's going to be interesting to see. So with the newly revamped Clubhouse, the upstairs site has become incredibly more viable, as well as the downstairs mid-floor and downstairs basement. It's just became an entirely different map. Essentially, defense is a lot easier, and it doesn't favor attack as much. So that is why Clubhouse, actually, I'm very surprised we haven't seen it a little bit more. It is still, you could say, a little bit broken, but it is also considerably better. I think the best match to look at and kind of see how to utilize Clubhouse would be, obviously, Penta versus Evil Geniuses in the Rainbow Six Siege Invitational. I'm almost 100% positive playing on Clubhouse, you're going to watch that VOD, you're going to look at how the pros play it, and you're going to say, you know what, maybe we could try it, let's see if we can do that here. And obviously, since Clubhouse is a little bit changed, actually considerably changed, we might not see that as much, but there is definitely going to be a couple of, I think, mirror aspects of that match. Obviously, wanting to get rid of that speaker. I feel like a little bit of a friendly fire. Actually, not even... Ash did not lose any health there. Very interesting. But could have been a friendly fire there. But Bobby is going to be able to get the first kill, and they're pushing onto site very, very quickly. Ash has already asserted her dominance onto these central stairs and is going to run into the crossfire of Smoke. Smoke is going to go for the peek, but decides, you know what? That might not be the smartest idea. Blitz is getting rid of that barbed wire. Smoke is going to go around for the peek and put down Ash, but is also going to get put down himself. Not able to get it, and Clicks is going to be traded up, though. Ash didn't even get a kill there because Smoke is going to be picked back up. Great crossfire established, but Bobby comes in. That is already a 3K on the round for him. Could establish a ace, but he's not going to be able to get it, as Snail finally putting him down, but he is in the down but not out stage. It is up to the Castle and the Mira here. Castle is holding this down very well, but with Bobby still down, it is essentially still a 2v2. You are seeing Habana just put that Habana charge right onto the Mira's face. That's going to force her. What a smart play by the Mira. I've actually never seen that utilized before, but it really doesn't matter because Sharx have just secured the round. Very smart play there from Mira. I've actually never seen that utilized before, and I apologize if that's been used a lot, but she put a C4 in front of the Mira, so if a Habana charge was put onto it, she gets rid of it. Very smart play, very high IQ play, no pun intended to the operator IQ, but it was still such a great play that might have been implemented before, but I personally have never seen that. It doesn't matter though, as Sharx kind of clean up that defense fairly easily and have one round in the bag. That was definitely a lot more fast-paced than the, as somebody is calling me on Discord. I have no idea why they would be calling me. But if you guys hear that, I apologize. That should be going silent in just a minute. I don't hear it personally, but sometimes it comes through on stream. I apologize for that. But that defense from Ruthless Admirals was a strong defense. It had a very smart setup. It was a good kind of just, there wasn't really any roamers. It was really site focused. It was kind of a turbo defense. It was a strong idea, but Sharx's attack was just too quick, and they exposed every little mistake that TRA made. And every mistake that was made was capitalized on, and that was the difference between the round there, and that's exactly why Sharx were able to pull that one out. They were just too quick for TRA, and that was the difference. Can we see a little bit more of a roam game here on Clubhouse? I think we need to. If the TRA needs, in order to stay alive basically in this match, they need to establish a roam game, and I think that's what Vigil is doing right now. You have to have some type of roam game. Clubhouse definitely isn't a really roamer-friendly map, as there isn't as many flanks, but there are a couple that can be utilized very well. And if you want to beat Sharx, you can't let them push on the site with as much speed and pace as they did that last round. You have to have some type of roamer to slow that down, kind of put some pressure on them early, and then you can start getting a couple defensive wins, start getting a couple frags, and then you'll start putting this round in your favor. As Dokkaebi just looks down the barrel of her gun. That was very questionable by her. I don't think that's where you look on the gun for the sight. We'll let her figure that out by herself. As you see, Vigil is in a deep roam position all the way downstairs in utility. That is a, like I said, deep roam. I don't quite understand why he's so far deep. I don't think he's actually going to run into anybody down here, as the first bullet's getting put back onto What a Guy Larry. And he is in a very tough spot. He might dock himself up, but with all the phone calls coming in, he just has to put the phone away and try to get a frag. So again, this attack has been very fast. Can Clix get the kill? He does. What a Guy had the angle on him, but Clix just with great movement off of the kill, and that's exactly what gets him that frag. Great movement from there from Kix, and Phoenix getting a good kill onto Tugmaster, and has just traded it back up. Bobby is going to go down, and now it is essentially a 3v3. And let's see what TRX can do. There goes down one, and that is the down player, so it is now officially a 3v3. The push on the site has been so fast. Ash is right in front of him, but Bandit's not going to turn in time. Does get the Ash. Can he get the third? Jamas is doing insane right now. Can he get the... And he does it. That is the third kill, and he's going to get the diffuser. What a play. Sharx, such a quick attack, but Jamas slows it down with the heat of his bullets, and thus like that, TRA, what a job by them. An attack that was just overwhelmingly strong for Sharx turned into just a great defensive effort there from Jamas, and I think that was a 3K, no, it was a 4K in fact. Could that actually have been an ace? I don't know, I'm going to have to look back on that, but what a great job there from Jamas, solidifying that round. Sharx had control of that site. They got the diffuser down. They were forcing a retake. They played super aggressive, got that plant down in almost under a minute, but Jamas said, you know what, you guys got the plant down. Let me just put a bullet between your eyes and do that to all the rest of the players and also defuse the bomb. Great play there from Jamas. Absolutely spectacular. And again, guys, I do this every single round, but if you are just tuning in and you aren't familiar to the 6th pick phase, this is a moment in the match when all of the operators are revealed to each of the players in each of the teams, and then you have an opportunity to make a 6th pick. This is when you can kind of create a direct counter to someone else on the other team, and it's really a hotly debated topic. Some people hate it because it takes away the surprise aspect, but some other people like it because it encourages more counterplay and one-on-one gunfights, and that's something that you like to see in Rainbow Six. So it's really just a new aspect of the game that is kind of hotly debated. If you did not know about that already, that is just a little bit of a recap. So on to the basement defense. This is the first time we are going to be seeing basement defense. And with this church arsenal room defense, you actually typically don't see as many roamers. Maybe one, possibly two, but two is definitely going to be the most. And I think the roamers we are going to be seeing are going to be the Jaeger and the Legion. Jaeger is going to be trying to hold down that kitchen area, which is so valuable for this site. And I think Legion is actually just going to find himself back down in sight. This then creates a great play for Legion to just get his traps around the site, survive as late as possible. The more traps you get down, obviously, the better you played as a Legion. I think Jaeger, yes, is going to be the only one roaming. Everybody else is in a close vicinity to the site. Actually, Jaeger as well coming back down, and that is actually the most typical defense for a team on Garage. I mean, not Garage, Armory and Church. If you are defending this, you're definitely going to focus more in sight rather than focusing on the roam. Obviously, though, when you are a team like Sharx, you're going to be cautious of that roam, and that can slow down your push significantly. So that might be what we're seeing here, as Twitch and Ash are both investing a lot of time in that upstairs area. But I think they've gotten the all clear and are now pushing down into sight. Buck is trying to create as many holes into the kitchen as possible. Just create as many lines of sight. But remember, those sights do work both ways. So we could see Buck go down early if someone gets the angle on him. We think the Jaeger is trying to look through them as well, and could possibly get something here. No sight pressure as of yet so far, just a lot of vertical play, and nobody's really dropped down and made a play. A lot slower than the last couple matches, and that's saying a lot considering there still is a significant amount of time. Finally, we see the Ash just doing what she does best, putting as much pressure onto the operators as possible and waiting for that repeat, but she is not going to get it anytime soon. We see with this new addition to Garage and this Garage door storage defense, we have a stairway down into blue. That is something new with the Clubhouse that is very well utilized by the attack and gives a little bit more of an advantage to the attacking players, and I think is a great addition to the Clubhouse, and that's why Clubhouse has been regarded as Clicks gets the kill onto the Ash. Gets the kill onto the Mira. That was a game of reaction time, and Clicks just was a little bit quicker and was, I guess you could say, nah, that wasn't going to work. I was going to say he clicks his trigger faster, but sounded a lot better in my head than when I said it out loud. But as I'm talking about that, Snail, the mute, is able to get a kill onto that Buck, and lots of the Shark team is down, but numbers still in favor of them. Down but not out once again here for the Twitch is going to be killed by that smoke, and now it is a 2v3, and we have to see a push here from Sharx. TRA are playing very well right now on defense, and just gets another kill on the Habana. It's all up to the very low Dokkaebi. What can she do in this situation? The pre-fire is going to come out from What a Guy, and just like that, Sharx are now down in the round. Wow. This is very, very good for TRA. Sharx are coming into this as, I think, the strong favorites in everybody's mind, and TRA is proving themselves significantly. Defense is slightly, I still think, a little bit more favored on this map, but I'm not trying to take any credit away from TRA at all. They've been playing absolutely tremendously. The attack from Sharx has been very strong. It's been very quick. I just think they might be taking a little bit too many risks. They're kind of pushing into the site so quickly, trying to put TRA into overwhelming pressure, but I think TRA are just building upon that pressure and just putting it right back onto Sharx. And I think the solution for Sharx is to slow it down a little bit, get some intel, then overwhelm it. So because what I'm seeing right now, or at least what I think I'm seeing, is Sharx are kind of rushing into sight. They're obviously trying to get some frags out quickly, and they are. But the problem is, sometimes when they rush into sight, they don't have all the intel to provide for them, their teammates and for all the players, and then they walk into their death. So they lose players early. That's not what they want to do. They don't want to be kind of in those situations. As my phone just miraculously falls off my table, I swear my house is haunted, but still, let's just get back into this. Sharx right now, they just aren't getting enough intel. They aren't getting enough going for them when they push into that site. And I think that's what's been the difference, because you're going to be seeing TRA have these hidden players that can create these flanks. So when Sharx do that very fast push, they are right there with them and are right there to counter them. I think Sharx, the only option, even though they are only down by 1, it's not a big deficit, the option is to just get a little bit more intel and possibly slow it down just a bit. So we do see the cash room defense once again. And it's very interesting to see this new Clubhouse, because everybody is familiar with the Clubhouse we've seen before, and you would have never seen this defense played, especially in a competitive match like this. But we're seeing it twice. This is the second time we've seen it, and it's very interesting to see how much Clubhouse has evolved with just a couple changes. And I think that's a great addition for this entire kind of Rainbow Six game, and to develop just like this and to have as much of a change as it had. It's great. As right here, not enough intel. Do they know the bandit is up there? I don't think they do. I Yes, they do. I think Ash is looking dead at him and just waiting for that peek of him. But he's not looking at the right way. Does get one, and just like that, what a great crossfire status from Sharx. And his 2 defenders down, but the Jaeger is still alive up there. He's doing some quick peeks onto the Hibana, and it's not going to be quick enough as Dokkaebi, my fault, takes off his head. C4 also coming out. Grenade going to get prepped. That should be good. It's going to force a rotate, and there comes a running from Mira. She is in a very tough spot here, and just bullets flailing through. She's now down, but out, and it's essentially a 2v1. It is all up to the Legion. The grenade kill finally securing it onto the Mira. It is up to the Hibana to hunt down this Legion and see exactly where he is and possibly get a plant down. Legion is a great operator to have late in the round due to the fact he can just lay more traps down. He gets stronger as the round goes on. So this is a great operator for a clutch situation. He is probably one of the best as well. He's creating some rotate holes, maybe just expecting a push from elsewhere. And with all of the time Sharx have, they can really think this one out. So Sledge definitely saw that Mira, and I'm pretty sure Legion saw the Sledge as well. But he is going to get marked up, and he's going to have to force the rotate, or maybe just try to sit there and throw them off. Legion is in a great position. He is establishing the flank. He does not see that the Sledge has already walked in. He doesn't see the Hibana as well. And just a case of bad timing there. But Sharx able to pull it back even at 2-2. Something we haven't seen is a map 3. And with the way these two teams are just going right back and forth, map 3 is looking a little bit more likely with this matchup. I've never even casted to 3 maps. Actually, I have in scrimmages. But that takes a lot of energy out of you, and I'm fit for it, and I'm really hoping we get to see a map 3, and it will be the first time we actually get to see it in league play. With the way they're playing, it's shaping up that way. They've just been going back and forth, and every single round has been very, very close. There is only one round that was a flawless victory in favor of Sharx, but it was quickly forgot about because we saw TRA come right back at them with a great round themselves and getting the win. So as we continue here into the 6th pick, this is the moment when they all get to see each other's operators. No 6th picks, I don't think, have come out yet. I think there might have been one, but obviously it wasn't significant enough to remember it. But right there, Legion does come out at the very, very end. And sometimes at the very end, when you see an operator change like that, it can show a little bit of a lapse of judgment or a little bit of confusion. And I know it's kind of a minor thing, but like I said yesterday when I was talking about this, every little detail counts when you're casting these games. And when you're looking at something as little as that, it might appear to be a little bit bigger than it really is. Because if you have a last second change like that, you could possibly and potentially just have a little bit of a miscommunication on your side of the team, and that's why you see that last minute change. But you could also possibly just, I don't know, you just could possibly just be like, oh no, never mind, let me just quickly change to this. It really is up for debate and has a lot of options exactly why you do a last minute pick. Sometimes it's actually to throw off, because on 6th pick you don't see it until at the very last second. So maybe they're trying to say, hey, you didn't get to see our 6th pick, you don't even know who we're bringing. That possibly could be it as well. As we do see another pretty deep roam here from Mute. Actually, not necessarily. Mute being in that garage isn't necessarily a deep roam, especially with just a rotate hole being created with that Mira. It's just right next to the site. So I apologize for that. But it's almost the exact same defense here as a great headshot there from What a Guy Larry onto Bobby. Down goes the Sledge. What a flick there from the Legion. An absolute stunner as he tries to chuck a Legion outside. He's going to get crossfired here, and there's just no escaping him. But Jamas is going to be able to get Box out of the picture, and the trade goes in favor of TRA. TRA have a great defensive hold on this site. It's the almost exact same, just kind of switching up where the Mira is located. And it's proving to be a little bit of a distraction and pretty difficult for the attackers to handle. Lots of time has been invested in trying to get those players out behind from that Mira. But remember, with how fast Sharx has been playing and how fast TRA has been playing, we still have 1 minute and 37 seconds left. And just like that, the trade comes out and is back to 3-3. As Tugmaster getting the kill onto the Jaeger. I don't exactly know where the Jaeger was. I think was going for that flank and was just heard through the headphones, and now it is in advantage of Sharx. Mute is slowly rotating back down. The push is going to be commencing. Ash not able to land her shots. Gets the kill finally onto the Mira, and it's all going to be up to this Mute, who is going to be rotating. Gets a phone call. Could potentially be the intel that they need, but the diffuser is also going to come down. We've seen one clutch from Jamas. Can Snail do it as well? We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't think he knows where diffuser is. Crossfires have already been established. This is going to be a very hard retake for him. He has no intel of the player at the window. He's going to peek, and he's not going to be quick enough as Clix. Again, the reaction time game goes into Clix's favor, and Sharx taking yet another round. So there it is. It's 3-2 now, and this is a position where you need to see TRA tie it up. If TRA put it onto 4-2, you're going to slowly start seeing that momentum slip away from TRA. They've had some great matches. They've had some really strong plays. And they've also had some great clutches. But if you let Sharx still gain all that momentum with their very fast attack, and well, obviously since we're rotating now with their strong, let's see what their defense has. If you let them establish themselves on defense and then get to match point, that's not good. They need to win this. They need to tie it up here. I think this is a very important match for TRA. Yes, you can come back from a 4-2 easily, but it's just the momentum factor I'm thinking of right now. I really think they need to win this here if they want to keep that, if they want to keep that kind of momentum in their favor and not let too much slip towards Sharx. As we actually do see the Monty coming out, that's a very interesting pick. He is an operator that is has a very interesting stat line. He has one of the highest win rates, but has one of the lowest pick rates. So you'd think, well, if an operator has a high win rate, why don't people pick him all the time? I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of preference. Lots of people pick Blitz over Monty, but Blitz actually has a significantly less win rate than Monty. So I think maybe Snail has picked up on that and knows how good Monty could be, and maybe that's why he is pointing it out. Sometimes though, when it comes down to operator choices, your teams will tell you. Most of the time in competitive matches, this isn't necessarily the case, but most of the time, sometimes, not most of the time, sometimes, very, very unlikely though, your teammate or your in-game leader, as we see Clix in a peak position. Is he going to be getting anyone? He could potentially get the Monty. If the Monty walks in front of that window, which he is going to be doing. And just like that, the bullets do fly out, but it's not going to kill it. Monty knows exactly where the Vigil is now. And there comes the intel. Ash gets killed. Vigil gets killed. And it's a trade. Getting down that Vigil. Great intel there from Monty. Just taking down that Vigil in kitchen. So there's the roam game. But Pulse is still alive and active in a pretty decent roam position. But as I was going to say, sometimes your in-game leader will tell you, play your operator you feel most comfortable with. Most of the time in competitive, that's not the case. You have a strat that you need certain operators. But maybe that Monty is just a really comfortable choice for Snail. But with the fact that he has the diffuser, they definitely have a strat surrounding him. You see Pulse in a very strong roam position. Could be going for the run out here. I think actually that's going to be a distraction for the run out. Don't quite know what he was looking at there. But not a lot of sight push. Obviously, this push from TRA is significantly slower than the Sharx push. By this point in the Sharx, when the Sharx were on attack, almost the entire defense and the entire offense was dead, and it was a 2v2 or a 1v1 or something along those lines. Whereas TRA are taking a lot more time and are being a lot more kind of methodical with their push. Again, with the reaction time game on that Mira, Jules is going to be just holding that down. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not 100% positive. It's just Jules. But the first line, EE1D, is going to be coming out. It's going to force everybody to just stand still. But with his nerf, he has definitely been seeing a dip in pick rate, but he is still a very significant operator that can turn the tide in the game. As Bobby probably gets the easiest kill of his life onto Jamas. I think Jamas, was he droning out? I'm almost 100% positive he was. But Monty is now pushing in and is just going to be one-on-one here with the Pulse. And Monty now trapping the Pulse into the room is going to force the rotate from the Pulse. But with that window prepped, he could still get back inside, and he does. What a smart intel play there from Pulse. Had to get that rotate, or he was going to be trapped from that Monty basically indefinitely. So it is all up to the Monty and the Twitch. Monty can establish himself in sight, but what a guy, Larry, as well, getting 2 kills. It is going to be all up to that Pulse. And the diffuser is going to come down. What a guy has been, not Larry, what a guy, Murray, I think it is, has been playing very, very well and is going to force the retake here from Bobby, and now they know exactly where he is. Monty is just going to sit in this rotate, and what a guy, it's Lunny, maybe? I don't know. What a guy has just put a 3K on top of Sharx and has 9 kills now in the match, making it even. Huge round for them to win, and TRA do it. This match, as we all know, or we don't know yet, as some people do know this, or some people don't know this, this is a league that could have a potential for infinite overtime. I mean completely infinite. This could go on for eternity. Obviously, there will be a break where we have to say, okay guys, we've been playing for too long, it's been 3 years, let's just end the game. But this is a potential, this is a league where there is infinite overtime. And with the way these two teams are playing, it is back and forth. Nobody has gotten a significant lead. Nobody has really come out and just made a statement as of yet. Lucky, I mean, not Lucky, What a Guy, I don't know why I called him Lucky, but What a Guy definitely is playing very well, but nobody's really put a huge stomp on the game to push it in favor of one team or the other. So this is looking like a match that could potentially be our first overtime of R6AL. We're going to see Sharx here with the basement defense onto Library and Armory. This, I think, is still one of the more viable sites on Clubhouse, but has definitely dipped in viability due to the fact of the changes it has been brought to it. Obviously, with this new stairway added, it creates a little bit more pressure onto the blue area and creates a little bit more pressure just onto both sites. An interesting reason why that hole is there is because you're most likely going to see a peek from that box right in the middle, and it will seep all the way through into this hallway, and if anyone comes down those stairs, you better believe that person sitting on that box is going to be able to get that kill. So the push is going to be coming here. As we saw last match, TRA had a significantly slower push. Sharx had a more very high pace push and just kind of went for it and almost full sended it into the site with basically only a minute in. And we see Bobby here in a very, very interesting position. Habana is going to be putting her X-Caros right onto the wall. And you see Pulse is just going to be sitting here in a very, very favorable spot. If Habana slowly crawls through there, she is going to be dead. It might have been a distraction, though, as Habana is rotating. But Tugmaster has a great peek on this window. Is he going to get droned out, though? I don't think he is. Habana might walk right through into that trap. Let's see what happens here. They're just waiting for Habana to come off her drone. She is going to spot the Jaeger. No, the bandit that... Did she? I don't think she did. I don't think she spotted the bandit there on stairs. She's going to push in here, and she might fall right into the hands of the Jaeger, and she does not. All of that waiting, and nothing happens. Pulse, though, is still in a good position. Trying to put some pressure onto Stairway as Habana puts a couple shots riddling right past the bandit there, and bandit is going to be rotating. I think bandit thinks that he actually got sighted out by that drone, but I don't necessarily know if that drone really did see him. So this push is taking quite some time. Ash is just sitting here holding an angle. Obviously knows someone is in cash room. But this push is definitely right now in favor of the defense. It's taking so much time. There's 1 minute left. Jules is able to get the first kill. And Jules is able to get a second kill. That is Skibozy and Jama's right out of the picture. And just like that, it is up to 3 operators on offense to just pull it back here, with all 5 finding themselves back to site. But Phoenix is going to take out Tugmaster. The smoke's going to come out, going to force the Monty back out of sight. Bobby is going to kill the Monty, and it's going to be all up to the Zofia. She has the guns, but does she have the brains to do it? She takes down one. She's not going to peek in the right direction, And Jules with a 3K is able to take down Phoenix. Zofia is a really good position. Zofia is a really good operator to have in that position. She has arguably the best gun in the game. And if you have people running at her like that, if she just gets her flicks correctly, that match could have easily gone in favor of TRA. But without, talking about that, we still have to realize Sharks are one match away from match point. Just like the 3-2, I think this is a very important match for TRA. If they want to stay in it, they cannot let match point be gotten here for Sharks. They have to prevent it, they have to tie it up, and they have to just kind of slow Sharks down. If Sharks get if they get match point, I think we're going to see them end it there, and it could potentially be 6-3, which wouldn't be a good scoreboard to really dictate how this match went out. But I really think with bringing 2 shield operators here, very interesting. But 2 shield operators here, this is an option. This is an opportunity to take this and tie it up at 4-4, and I think they need to do this. TRA needs to tie it up here. These two teams have been playing very, very well. The attacks are almost completely different, though. And a lot of the matches before this, you'd see me criticizing one team's play or criticizing just the way these teams have been playing. But right now, you can't really criticize much just because how close it has been. You would be able to criticize and be able to pinpoint mistakes these teams are making, but you can't just solely do the fact that these two teams are so good at what they've been doing right now and have been keeping it close this entire time. But if one team starts slipping up, that's where we can really see the mistakes come through, and that's where we really can see kind of things they need to fix. But right now, the only thing I've seen that's really just kind of worth to be noted is how different the attacks have been for both of these teams. Sharks has been just a very high-paced attack, where TRA like to take their time and kind of wait till last minute. And with the way these rounds have been going, I favor Sharks' attack. I think just the intel, obviously, there needed to be a little bit more of it, and that's why Sharks, I think, lost a couple of attacking rounds. But with that high pace and with that just quick play, it doesn't expose you to things like that, where Clicks and Tugmaster are able to take out 2 players in just a matter of seconds and have now put you in the numbers disadvantage. Alright, so here we go. Let's see if Habana could get a couple wallbangs to the wall. She did get the mark, but she's not going to be able to get anything besides that. She's going to try to make her push, and it's, again, taking a lot longer. Obviously, there's still 2 minutes left, but it doesn't matter. What a guy, Looney, I think that is the Blitz. Yes, gets a kill, but he is going to be flanked from Tugmaster. And Tugmaster, the Pulse, has been really playing strong in that role, in that deep roam, and has put a lot of pressure onto these roamers and these players. What a guy, Looney, is very confused on what happened. He has no idea where he got shot from. And obviously, it doesn't matter because Box is able to just take down Jamas, and it's now up to Monty. Monty is not a favorable person in a one-on-one. He's not like Blitz, where you can flash and rush. He basically just has to sit there and die from a C4 from below. That's Tugmaster once again. That's 8 kills. Oh god, that voice crack was just major. But that's 8 kills for Tugmaster. He has been playing very, very solid. That deep roam position puts Sharks onto match point. TRA gotta win here, or it's going to be over for them on Clubhouse, and we are going to be going on to Villa. Obviously, if you guys heard before, I don't have the map cinematic for Villa, so we're just going to be going right into that one, which is unfortunate because I just love the map cinematic, and I think it adds another little bit of an element to it, but I apologize. I have not even set up the cinematic for Villa just because of how new it has been put into the map pool. But with the way Sharks are playing defense, they're playing, I think, a defense a lot stronger than they were playing attack. The reason that is because I think the attack for TRA has just been a little bit lackluster. It's really slow, it's really methodical, and that's good in certain situations. That's good in, I guess you could say, situations where you need intel. Whereas right now, I think they're just being slow and methodical because they're scared to push. Yes, they're getting intel, but they're not even getting enough of it compared to how much time they've been wasting. I think if they need to make a push, it takes a strong player to be just like, okay, guys, we got to focus our push. We got to focus exactly where we're going, and that's not what TRA are doing. They're a little bit unfocused. They're a little bit disorganized on the attack. These last 2 rounds, we've kind of seen that from them. everybody kind of goes in, and when they get picked off, it's almost like they collapse. When they lose one operator, as a team, you cannot collapse. You have to stay strong as a team when it's a 1v5. There is no excuse to say, oh, well, we lost the Monty, we lost the Blitz, we can't do this round anymore, let's just give up. You can't do that. And I think right now, TRA, they're not giving up, of course not. But they're showing a lot more weaknesses when they lose an operator early on. And I think that is what Sharx is going for. They're trying to pressure TRA into situations where they have to lose an operator early on, and it's working in their favor because TRA have lost an operator very quickly, almost in these both in these last two matches. I think it's been in under 30 seconds, and it's kind of thrown off TRA significantly. They can't let that happen here, though, as they are on to basement defense with the Church and Armory. This is the most viable defense on this map. So can TRA just prevent match point and not prevent match point, prevent game point, that is, and stay alive on this match, or are we going to see them collapse when they lose an operator? I think they're being able. I think they should be able to survive. I think they're a strong team enough, and just how close this match has been, there's not many differences between the two teams. It's just who can win the gunfights quick enough. And right now, the push is taking a little bit of a while to kind of get going, just trying to get as much intel as possible. And already breaking the 2-minute mark, finally we see a couple people pushing into the building. All operators now are into the building. They have established control of top floor. That is bedroom area that is in favor of the attacking squad. And now they're going to slowly work their way down. What a guy is going to get the first kill. That is huge for TRA. They needed that. They did not want to go down and be the ones to not get the first kill and be the ones to kind of concede first. But obviously they aren't, and that's huge for them. It's going to boost them kind of going forward in this round. Still a lot of time being invested, a lot of time being invested in intel. Yes, you need that intel, but you need that time later in the match. And right now, as Jaeger is putting a lot of pressure on Hibana, is going to get the Hibana, and Clicks is playing very, very well with that Jaeger. Jaeger's not even roaming. He is just in a very advantageous position. And this is exactly that hole I was talking about. If anybody comes down that hallway, that's going to be a peak that is going to be very hard to deal with on the attacking front. Sophia is taking many bullets, but the crossfire has been established, and that takes down Clicks. Snail is able to kill Clicks, but Box gets a trade on Snail. What a guy gets a trade on Box, and it's now up to just 2 operators here for SRX. Or Sharx. But Phoenix able to just break it down into 1, and unlucky there. The Phoenix push, as the line is just unbearable, was just a little bit too quick to handle, as he catches both of the players in defense there in Church completely off guard, and they are preventing the match still, and TRA are trying to claw their way back in this one and maybe force an overtime here. But remember, Sharx are still on match point, and with the way this has been going, it's been really 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss. If we see that pattern continue, it goes in favor of Sharx. It's just easy as that. We need to see TRA break that pattern here. They had a great push there. They got rid of people quickly. I think the dictating point in that match was the fact they got rid of an operator on Sharx before Sharx got rid of an operator on TRA. They had the man advantage early. They then used that man advantage to push site. They pushed it kind of methodically, took a little bit of time off the clock, but they did it either way. They did it anyways, and it still was a great push, and it pushed them into a favorable position, and that's exactly why they won. They need to get that first kill. They need to be the first to get that man advantage, or we've seen it. TRA, there's been a couple times when they lose players early, they have slowly just lost kind of their marbles and kind of start to panic. That's not what we saw last round, and that's exactly why they won last round. They need to keep that going here. Sharx, though, on that last round, I think they had a very strong defense, but they were almost a little bit too stagnant. They kind of froze up in sight and just lost operators. Yes, they got some very good trades, and they got some good kills coming right off the bat and just coming in, and just anytime one kill went down, they kind of traded back up. But in the end, they were just a little bit too stagnant, and with all the intel that TRA were getting, you can't be freezing up in sight because your position is easily going to be compromised. Which is very interesting to see, because with the way Sharx are playing on offense, you definitely expect really aggressive play on defense. Obviously, they are playing very aggressive, but you'd almost expect them to be going for spawn peaks and going for runouts significantly more. Which is interesting to see how different Sharx' attacking gameplay and their defensive gameplay kind of lie. That's always a good aspect of a team. That's when you can know a team is really solid if they have really kind of differing strats, and they have statistics and strats and just players that are so different from one another, and they just all complement each other. That's when you can really kind of pinpoint a really good team to a team that's just decent. So I think that's really is in favor of Sharx there. They have a really strong lineup, and they have so much diversity in their lineup that it creates a very, obviously a very strong team, as what we're seeing right now with Sharx. They are playing very, very well. But they are still in a position where TRA could send this down to match point. Send this into overtime and get rid of that match point advantage as Clix finds himself on those blue stairs once again. That's where he likes to stay, as Valkyrie is going to be taken down first. That's the exact same play. What a guy, Larry, taking down Jewel. That's the exact same thing that happened last match. This is what made TRA win last time. Can they carry that man advantage again? Can they make it into an advantage that gets them the win? Obviously, Sharx just have to stay. Obviously, Sharx just have to stay a little bit more controlled here on defense, and they cannot collapse, and they cannot let this man advantage get just too much in favor of TRA. So Jack is slowly pushing, and Ski is going to be able to get Tugmaster down, and now it's just up to 3 operators for Sharx, and just the push is going to be commencing. Sharx and Box, though, trading it right up just like that, and it's back to 3-3, as it was, I thought, a very slow, and now it's 2v3, and now it's 1v3. How did Sharx just turn this around? But do not count the Twitch out. Bobby finally finishing off Ski, and it's going to be Andy, but what a guy, Larry somehow gets the kill on the smoke, but it's not going to be enough. Clix is able to get the flank onto the Twitch, and that is just confirming the kill out there at the very end. What a play from TRA to almost come back into that, but also an even better play from Sharx to go from a 5-3 to a 3v1. Just a great sight hold from Sharx in general, and just looking at that scoreboard, wow, these two teams really spread out the kills. Yes, there's top heavy with What a Guy and Clix, but they spread out those kills significantly. Great play from these two teams, but it doesn't matter because Sharx were the ones to come out on top, and were able to take map 1. We're going to be doing a slight intermission of about, I think, 2 minutes, and we'll be right back with you guys in just a second.
Academic success.
Paid for by JB for Governor.
You're a student with a passion for shaping what's next. You're looking for a college where creatives thrive and learn the business and technological skills they need to succeed. At Columbia College Chicago, located in the vibrant South Loop, our faculty actively work in the fields in which they teach. Columbia alumni are leaders in their fields, and you can be one of them. To learn more, including about transferring and financial aid, please visit colum.edu. That's colum.edu.
Alright guys, obviously since I told you that the map cinematic is not available, we are not able to quickly just show you this cinematic and things like that. But I also think the teams have changed sides, so let me quickly change the overlay real quick with these keybinds that are very, very confusing. 1 second, actually, have they changed sides? I don't think they have. 1 second, guys, I'm sorry. I totally forgot to check. We'll just wait till we get into the match to see exactly who's playing for who. Actually, I can just do this. Tugmaster Sharx is on blue team. Oh, no, they are on the exact same side. So we are going to be... I think we might actually just do a rehost because I think they were supposed to change sides. But I don't think they did. Oh. Yeah, I'm guessing yes. I don't think they changed sides. I'm getting mixed signals. I don't. Leave it. Okay, we just got like 16 different opinions there. Just gonna give them a nice little heart because just to show my appreciation. But so the teams did not change sides. I think they were supposed to, but really with this rotate, it doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter. Also, because it's on Villa, we don't understand how this meta works on Villa yet. It doesn't matter what side you're on, you're going to be facing new aspects of the game and kind of new things every day and every kind of process you are making in this new map. So I think every round is going to be really just a learning curve for a bunch of these players. Even if they have played it significantly, there's still just kind of that new aspect and that new meta that still needs to be developed here. One thing we do all know about Villa, if you do play Rainbow Six Siege, it is a map that has many runouts and many dangerous peaks, so you're going to need to kind of be on your watchful eye if you're on attack for all of those. And I think that's why also on defense we are seeing Echo and Doc being brought out, 2 people with ACOGs. And you know, when people bring out ACOGs, that means they're most likely going to be looking for a deep peek into the offensive half, or when the offense is making that attack. So with these sites, this is a very, very interesting. Villa is a very interesting kind of way of playing, and the reason why it's so interesting and why it's such a kind of great map is solely due to the fact there is not one site where you can directly get into the site from a window. And you might be thinking, well, look at B, there's windows all over. But look at all the B windows. They're all blocked up. You have to go through this window and go through a door. It's almost like all of the sites are barricaded in themselves. And that's why Villa has kind of been one of those maps that have gone right into Pro League just to see and just to show how viable and how ready this map is, solely due to the fact not only is it massive, and not only does it create so many flanks and so many opportunities for roamers, but it also gives the advantage to defense in the fact it creates a lot more of a harder attack, and that rush kind of style of play that we've seen from Sharx might not work as well here because the map and the sites are basically cushioned within themselves, if that really makes any sense. Did you see the first shots coming out here from the Vigil, who is trying to establish his dominance, but Ash as well is going to be flanked here. Ash is going to lose a little bit of health, actually not at all. Very surprising here. No, that was the Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi going to be losing a little bit of health, just trying to get the peak. Just a slight advantage. The Mira is going to be popped as well. So lots of pressure already here from Sharx onto the defense. Everybody is inside except the Dokkaebi. This is kind of similar style of play to what we saw as just hiding behind that crate. Somehow nobody droned it out and nobody saw him. He does get 1 kill. That is going to be What a Guy, but What a Guy is put right back down off of a great flick from Sharx. From Bobby. Jewel is able to get 1 more, and it is now 3-3. The trades do come out, and it is a slight advantage in favor of the attack, just looking at the health. Actually, they're basically pretty even if you add them all up. But Bobby is preoccupied right now with just an operator that is just hiding away in that room. But it's going to be the Vigil that is going to be finally taken out there. And the last operators are going to be the Bandit and the Echo who are on site. Waiting for the push here from the attack. We are going to see the Bandit try to lay a couple shots through the Mira. But it's not going to work. And now it's going to be the Dokkaebi versus the Bandit. And the phone's going to get rained, and the turn comes right around there for the Bandit. Great play there, but he loses his teammate in the process. He's going to have to force a retake. It's going to be a 2v1. The defuse is going to be coming down. And let's see what Bandit can do. He did almost land a shot there on the Habana. I don't think they know exactly where the Bandit is. But he is going to be retaken here. He's not going to be able to see Bobby behind the box. And Bobby, who almost got killed from that box, is going to be the one doing the killing from there. And is going to secure the round for their team. What a guy. Obviously a little gotta love clicks. What a guy. Obviously a little bit disappointed in him not getting the kill, but sometimes we all know the hit registration might be a little bit funky with Rainbow Six, but either way, the team that won was Sharx, so it doesn't really matter if you got that kill or not. Sharx still did come out on top. And what we're also seeing again is a Blackbeard finally coming out. This is the first time I think we're actually going to be seeing a Blackbeard. We didn't see him, I don't think, once last map, and I think we saw him, I think, maybe once last map. But him coming out onto Villa is going to be huge. Obviously, since there is no window onto site, he's not going to be as viable. But he still is going to be an operator that will win all of those corner peaks and be able to flip around a corner and be able to have the advantage in every gunfight that involves just going around an angle. So that's exactly why you bring bring a Blackbeard, because he creates that kind of almost second life, or basically a lifeline if you are an attacker and you peek around a corner and you don't see someone shoots at that shield, you're like, oh, so there's someone in there. Now next time I peek this corner, I'm going to predict that, try to get pre-fire, and most likely going to get the kill. So that's exactly why you see the Blackbeard is almost banned every single match, and also why he is picked so quite often. It's funny to think of the good old days when Blackbeard's shield had 800 health and he was basically unstoppable. He could just sit at a window and just watch it day in and day out. But finally he did get a significant nerf and his pick rate went down considerably. But he is still a very, very viable operator and is a very strong operator. So we are seeing TRA going back to the same exact site here. Almost doing the exact same roam and setup as well. I think maybe they just want to try to win their gunfights this time and try to establish themselves a little bit more on the outer skirts of the site, and that's why I think we are seeing a lot more roamers and a lot more players kind of outside of the site trying to establish themselves, trying to slow down that attack a little bit more, because they have recognized Sharks like to attack with a lot of pace and a lot of speed. And the best way to stop that is to have a significant roam to make you stop and think and drone and kind of slow down your pace. That's exactly why I think we're seeing this type of defense here from TRA. As Bandit, Jaeger, and Legion are all in pretty deep roam positions. Bandit especially is on the complete other floor and is going to be looking for this flank. He is with the Vigil and has rotated basically all the way back up to site and hasn't seen anything. So this Sharks attack is definitely significantly slower than the attack we were seeing on Clubhouse, but that solely could just be due to the map and trying to adapt on the fly really how you have to play this map. They're seeing Sharks. They have not lost a body yet and are pushing with numbers right through this door. And if all three of them come through there, they either are going to get mowed down or they are going to just come in with overwhelming pressure onto the site. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Blackbeard just missing those shots onto the Vigil. Vigil just trying to lay some fire on the Blackbeard. That is going to be the Legion down from Clicks, and Clicks with the kill. That is going to be from the Jackal. He's also going to be traded out, though. That is going to be through the shield from the Echo. And the trade is coming out, but can Snail get another one? He is going to be spotted from the Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi laying a lot of shots on him. Tugmaster also getting the kill. Dokkaebi just trying to shoot the Echo through this. But what a guy is just on there with a great flank. as everything is going down very quickly, and it's all back up to the Hibana. What looked like a great push, but Jaeger goes down. Can Hibana clutch it out here? It is going to be Echo, Hibana, and Bandit here. The last 3 left. Can Echo and Bandit hold it true? Echo does have a very slim health, but Hibana's intel has just been given to the rest of the team. They know exactly where she is. Let's see exactly what she is doing. Trying to check a stun out, but that's going to be eaten up by the Jaeger. Finally, the third one is not going to stun this Bandit, but he's not going to be enough as Jamas is able to peek up right behind the desk and secure that round for Sharx. Similar to what we saw with last map, these two teams have just been back and forth, and it's you win one, you lose one, you win one, you lose one. As I love when teams kind of have this relationship, because you can kind of see there is a slight rivalry here between them, but they also are just kind of messing with each other as well. As we see Jamas, I think that's his name, Jamas. You could call him James. I don't know. It looks like Jamas, but you see them talking about how he's been tracked twice by Blackbeard, and any player who plays Rainbow Six Siege, you know when you get tracked more than once by Blackbeard, it's just incredibly annoying, and just not a fun experience at all. I know there's many times actually in ranked matches when it just seems like Jackal, Lion, Dokkaebi have all just kind of got you in their sights, and there's really nothing else you can do except panic. Even in a competitive match like this, when you just get tracked by Jackal, you're going to start panicking, because just the stakes are a lot higher, and things are just at an extremely higher level. So even being tracked by just Jackal and not Lion and not Dokkaebi, that still puts a lot of pressure onto the defensive player that is currently being tracked. That is why you see Jackal is considerably picked. Jackal and Dokkaebi are considerably picked a lot more by a significant amount than they are in like ranked matches and casual matches. They're picked so much more in competitive matches like this, solely due to the fact how much more intel you can give your team and how much more communication is going into the game when you are in a competitive match like this. When you have that slight advantage of having the Jackal and have that slight advantage of having the Dokkaebi and the Lion, where you can just get a little bit more intel on the other team, that goes a long way when you're communicating with your team a lot. And both of these teams definitely are communicating with each other on obviously in their own comms. And I think that's why you see those kind of tracking operators get brought into the play and brought into factor. So it's interesting to see Villa getting played out, because we really don't know the viable bomb sites. We don't know what bomb sites are good, we don't know what bomb sites are bad. And yes, you can say, well, in ranked I've played this, well in casual I've played this, and I like this. But in competitive, it's, again, like I said, with the trackers, the same thing applies with the sites. It's a completely different ballgame. If you're playing ranked and you like a site, that could easily just be due to the fact the other team is just minging around and really not trying. And Skibozy, as I'm saying that, gets a kill onto Clix. And Clix, who was top fragging significantly last match, is met with a barrage of bullets right away, and is going to be held still at 1 kill going into round 3. Vigil is in a pretty deep roam position. I think he is waiting for some type of flank here to try to establish himself. Ugh, my fault. And Echo as well has a slight line of sight, and Clix doesn't like this map because it's very scary and dark. And you know what? I agree with him. This map is very dark. If you have a Vigil hiding in a corner, it's almost impossible to see. And I think the only solution really is to just put your brightness up a little bit. As Jewel gets, I think that was a 1-tap, as it's just one shot rain out, and a kill feed just popped up right away. That's going to be the Blackbeard taking down, and Bobby getting another one. And now the advantage is just traded right back. And the trades are really coming out with these two teams. It has been so even so much of the time that it's just like every trade just comes out. Every kill almost doesn't matter, but that is why you bring the Blackbeard. If you have him, he wins those gunfights. Vigil had the first step on him, for sure. Vigil had the advantage right there, but because of that shield, it saves Blackbeard's life. He knows exactly who that Vigil is, and he can just lay so many shots into him. And then Vigil obviously going down dead, and Blackbeard is going to be the one winning. So Jamas is able to get a kill onto Tugmaster. Now it's going to be up to the Blackbeard and the Hibana. Just try to put some sight pressure, as right now, just standing still is the Echo, and just holding an angle is the Mute. They're just waiting for the push here. It is reaching about 40 seconds. The play from Sharx so far on this match has been significantly slower than the play from Sharx on Clubhouse. That obviously could be just easily contributed to the map. There might be a little bit something to it. So a little bit more cautious. Blackbeard not able to reach the head of the Mute and is waiting for this Echo push. Is waiting for the push. He gets it. Great heads-up awareness play, but now is a one-on-one. Mute just laying a couple shots onto the Blackbeard. Mute is the one in the advantageous position because Blackbeard does not have the diffuser. He does have it now. He is going to go for the plant. The push is going to have to come out. And the fake does not work on Jamas. And just like that, Jewel walks right into the headshot. And great hold there from TRA. Could we potentially see a map 3 from these two teams? These two teams are looking very, very strong. I really think at the end of the day here, the thing to take away from both of these teams is the fact they have played so well. Sharx have been putting up some great pressure. TRA, who came into this match, who were significant underdogs, have proven themselves as well so much more than what we really have expected. And going up against a team as Sharx, who is just favored completely, who have a lot of hype surrounding them, they have proven that hype really doesn't mean all of that, and they're playing so strong. But again, Sharx as well, they do still have that map advantage. Oh, Jesus. They still do have that map advantage, and they do still have the fact that they can just bring it on to map 3 without kind of having to worry about if they lose this match. But again, with TRA, if they lose this match, it is over. So there is still kind of that there's that separation of skill there, but just the way these games have been going and how close they have been, it's really been interesting to watch, and it's going to be interesting to see how all of these teams play out into the later half of the season. We've seen a couple of matches that have really gone in favor of one team and have really favored one team throughout the entire way. But here, we're not seeing that at all. We're really seeing an even match between these two teams. Nothing really breaking out, nothing really changing for either of these teams. It's just coming down to who's going to be the team to get that last frag, who's going to be the team to get that, who's going to be the team to take that risk that flips the round in their favor. And that's really what it's come down to, and that's always great to see in a match because it just shows how close these teams really can be. Whereas a couple matches we've seen from R6AL as of yet, there's been a couple that have been a little bit lackluster, and obviously I'm not trying to diss any credit to any of the teams that played, but there were some matches where it just seemed a team was kind of in the advantageous position for a significant portion of the match, but we're not seeing that here at all. Baker is in a very good position here, as I don't think he has been droned out. And I think he's about to get droned out right now, but he's not going to be able to get it. I think that was a bait drone. What a play there from Habana. Actually, yes, it was. Clicks droned out for him, and it was just such a good play there. Great communication on Shark's part, eliminating that Jaeger, who was in a very tough spot to kill. And just like that, the advantage goes to Sharx. Sharx, they want to win this one. Phoenix getting the kill onto Tugmaster. What a kill there from Phoenix. I don't know how he came out alive there, as well as Snail, who comes out with very little health. Both players here for TRA have just lost a significant portion of health. We do see the stun comes out, and that is going to be it, though. But Habana gets traded back out, and it seems like every time Sharx get a slight advantage or tie it back up with the numbers, TRA is right there with them, getting a kill themselves. And just like that, Jewel is able to take down, and it's going to be 2-2, and now it's going to be 2-1 as Clicks is able to take down Ski. And now it is definitely in favor as Jewel with that Blackbeard. It has just been so dominant. It's just been really hard to stop. I apologize, guys. I'm kind of... God, Jesus, right there again. I apologize, guys. I've been kind of slurring over my words, but I've been doing like 4 maps in a row so far, and I can just kind of... My mouth just gets a little tired. So I apologize, guys. Just trying to go through it as much as possible, but you'll probably hear me drinking a lot of water and things like that, so I apologize in advance. So obviously we are going on to the 6-pick phase. This is what you see here. It's when all the operators are revealed to one another. It's an opportunity for teams to, I've said this so many times, but it's an opportunity for teams to completely counter other players and things like that. So example is, say if they bring a Blitz and a Monty and you don't have a lot of C4s on your team, you're going to pick up Pulse, Mira, or Bandit, try to get a C4 and things like that. So that's what the 6-big is really used for, just try to find direct counters to any operators that you really don't have a counter for.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
So we are one match away here of the rotate, and just these teams have been so close, you can't say whether attack is the one that's an advantage or is it defense. And with Villa, I really thought coming into this one it would be defense, but with just the way Sharx has been playing on attack, it hasn't appeared that way. Or it can be in favor of defense, it's just Sharx' play has been so good that it looks like it's even, and maybe when Sharx then get put onto defense, we might start seeing them slip away from it. But I can't say that at all, just solely due to the fact Villa is such a new map. We haven't really seen its meta get played out. We don't exactly know how it gets played out, and we don't know really what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what are the strats, just because it is such a new map. Obviously, what we've seen here from TRA has been very impressive, but the roam game has either worked or it has failed miserably. We saw there with the Jaeger last match, he was in a very good position, but he still didn't get the kill, just solely due to the fact there was just really great intel provided from Sharx. And yes, Sharx is just putting a lot of pressure on these roamers, but I think the roam game just has to be a little bit more consistent for TRA if they want to keep securing these defensive rounds. And obviously this is the last defensive round, so they need to have this roam game really strong here. We do see Jules again on that Blackbeard holding down this window. Any peek through that window is going to be tough to deal with, as I think they might have heard a run out, but I don't necessarily know if anybody was really running out. It's just the waiting game at this point. They're slowly pushing. Sharx, again, have just been a completely different team from Clubhouse. Solely due to the map, but Phoenix is going to just have a great flick onto Clix. Clix had no idea where Phoenix was. Great play there from the Legion. And that is one of the huge operatives and huge players for Sharx going down early. That's going to be the Ash. And Tugmaster, though, is right there with him to trade it back. So Phoenix goes down, and just looking at the wrong time, just a huge flicker from Bobby. That is the exact wrong time to look away. We saw this a lot yesterday. It almost seemed every time operators just looked away at the exact wrong time. As Jamas and What a Guy are able to get 2 kills. And now it is a 2v4, and defenders just win the round like that as What a Guy. He establishes the roam game like I said, and he gets 2 huge flanks onto the defense. What a great shot there from What a Guy. He really facilitated that round there. He has been playing just absolutely insane these entire maps. And right there, that was what kind of pushed TRA into a much better position to win that round. Great play there from, who was it? It was What a Guy. Just great roam. That's exactly what I said at the beginning of the match. They needed that roam. They needed to push those operators and slow down that attack from Sharx. Exactly what they did. They did it tremendously. That's why you see them getting that win. But it's going to be interesting to see here. Is defense really the advantage, or are we going to slowly start seeing Sharx pull themselves back in this one just because defense is the advantage and TRA just almost, you could say, gave up a couple rounds? I don't know. Just the way these teams have been playing and how close they really are, I really don't think there is advantage on defense or offense, but that could easily be what gets played out. Or it could be completely vice versa. We could easily see TRA come out and attacking is the advantage, and Sharx just go down a lot earlier than expected. So I actually don't think we've seen this defense. It's very interesting to see both of these teams going for completely different defensive holds, and it just really comes down to the fact, again, this map is so new. When you bring out new maps like this, obviously they are met with either great praise or just a lot of hate. Everybody remembers Favela, and that was just rough. And there's a couple maps like Yacht and things like that as well, where they don't really quite make it into the Pro League map pool ever. The only ones that have really been significant have been Coastline. Coastline's kind of there, but the most significant one is definitely Border. Border's been one of the favorites, and it's interesting to see, is Villa going to be kind of in that same playing area as Border, or is it going to be another Coastline where, yes, it's in the Pro League map pool, but it's not necessarily something that's used as often as other maps. And we really can't say anything about it as of yet, just because only a couple teams have played on it, and this is the first time we're actually seeing a team in R6AL play on it. But again, this is still week 1, and it is only day 2. We do have another game tomorrow as well. And we do have a couple games on days that aren't match days that I might be able to cast, but I still don't know. And if you guys aren't familiar, the match days will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And sometimes teams can't schedule on those days, so they reschedule for days that aren't those days. And if, say they do, I can't promise if I can cast those or not. And Phoenix going to be taking down Tugmaster with a great kill, just seeing the head of Tugmaster and just pulling the trigger. Phoenix has been playing very, very well right now. Mira is just in a very tough spot here. She could get shot right in the back here, because that wall behind her, I'm pretty sure, is unreinforced. If somebody calls that out, she could just get taken out very, very early. This push here from TRA is very slow, though, and it hasn't really made any progress. We have seen a couple frags come out, and we do see another one come out, as now it's just up to 3 operators, but Bobby able to trade up and bring it down to 4. Jaeger is in a good flank position, gets the kill onto the Bahana. Gets the kill onto the Habana, and now it's going to be Clicks once again, who has been so dominant on defense. He's going to be pushing up those stairs, sees a quick peek, and is going to not react in time. Zofia is very, very low, and is now going for the reload, and still all going to be up to the Clicks, as What a Guy continues to put his stamp onto this match. He does cake down the Blackbeard shield, but it's not going to be enough, and every one-on-one gunfight like that, that is going to be won from the Blackbeard. TRA are looking very strong and are looking to take this match into game 3. I mean, into match 3. Map 3. Jesus. What I'm seeing here from Sharx is, like, I feel like they're almost becoming uncertain with their style of play. They are almost changing it up midway through rounds. We saw in the beginning of that round, it was very sight focused, and then it's really rotated down to a very roam focus, and then when they lost sight control, it was all up to that roamer. I'm a little confused. I think they might be a little bit identity struck here. They don't really know what is kind of the best thing to go up against with TRA, as TRA are just pulling down operators very early on Sharx, and it's kind of throwing Sharx in a loop. This is what we saw from TRA last match. When Sharx were able to get a kill early, it really threw TRA off, and I think it's just kind of fighting fire with fire here, as TRA are doing the exact same thing as Sharx, but this time TRA are on the advantageous side and are on the side that is kind of taking advantage of taking down operators very early on.
Attackers need to locate and defuse this
TRA is 1 match away here from match point, and this could look to be a game that is going to be going on to map 3. This will be the first match that will be going on to map 3. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. This is a must-win here for Sharx. They do not want to let TRA go into match point so early on. They do not want to let them go onto match point where they only have 2 points themselves. That will be a huge mistake for Sharx, and that is something they cannot let happen. This is a very, very big win for them. They need to get something going here. As they go to the same defense, I don't necessarily know if that's a smart plan. We've seen this happen with teams before. When they lose one defense, they go back to it again. You actually see a Cav coming out here. Very, very interesting. But when we see teams go to the same defense kind of 2 times in a row, I'm not a fan of that. Yes, it gives you a second chance, and yes, you could kind of pull it off. But that peek hole actually was very smart. Kind of distracted the Ash, shot one down, but it's actually getting shot from a different advantage point. And smart play there, just putting down some health onto that Ash, but not able to get the frag. So if that frag did come out, though, we saw TRA, they do collapse, and so does Sharx. When a teammate on your team goes out that early, I've seen both of these teams kind of struggle later on in the match and then kind of lose grasp of exactly what is happening. So with this Cav in play, this is a very interesting kind of operator choice. She is an operator that really is never used from a kind of numbers point, but Jules is able to get the first kill, and that is huge for Sharx, as what we've seen so far is just getting that first kill is so huge. And Sharx actually might be able to get the interrogation, and he is. So Cav coming out clutch here, and an interrogation coming out in a competitive match like this is something you really never see. Snail is going to go down. It's going to be all up to the Blackbeard. This could be a flawless round here for Sharx. Cav is going to drop down, and just like that, wow. We never see Cav come out, but when she makes her mark, she makes her mark. She not only gets the interrogation, but she completely controlled that roam game and that attack push. What a great play there, and what an interesting operator pick from Sharx. We're most likely not going to be seeing that again from them, as they're going to be bringing counters to that, as that was just a very great play in general from Sharx. A good way to throw off TRA. When you went into that round, I'm going to be completely honest, nobody expected Cav to leave a mark just like that. Nobody expected her to really kind of facilitate and just completely take control of that round, but she did. So just great play there from Sharx, and that it was a must win, and they have an opportunity to tie it up here, and this could be huge. If somehow Sharx win 4 in a row and flip it with a comeback here, that is going to be a huge confidence booster for them, and it's going to be a lot of momentum lost for TRA. Very interesting 6th pick coming out there, opting out of the Mira, the most picked operator in Pro League, right next to Smoke, and then going for a Doc. Very, very interesting. Obviously, when you bring the Doc, you bring the ACOG, and when you bring the ACOG, you bring a spawn peak. So that might be what we're going to be seeing here, but I can't say for sure. You never really want to predict in Rainbow Six because anything can really play out, but I don't necessarily know if taking out that Mira of the lineup and just putting in a Doc who is a considerably less viable operator, I don't necessarily know if that's the smartest move. What we've seen so far in Villa is you need a roam game, but the roam game can't be too deep. You need to have a very, very focused roam game. If your roam game is not focused on Villa, you're going to get flanked yourself, and your roamers are going to be taken out in the blink of an eye. You need to have a very focused roam game. You need to have specific spots that your roamers are going to focus on and have choke points. And that's what we saw Sharx do with that Cav, and that's why Cav worked so well. And we've also seen a couple times where Sharx, they roam too deep, and we've also seen it with TRA where they just roam too deep, and then that roamer just gets eaten up very, very quickly. And I think that is really what the difference has been, is whoever roam game has been stronger, has been established significantly more, is going to be the one that gets advantage of. And obviously Bobby, with a great kill there, is not going to be peeking at the wrong way. She's going to be just running around the complete wrong way, but he's still somehow going to be able to get the kill. How did Clicks do that? He peeked the exact wrong way. That was not Bobby, that was Clicks. My fault. I was looking at the wrong name, but because Bobby before that was the one to get the kill, but Clicks looked the complete wrong way on that run out and is now trying to contest a Blackbeard. Clicks is really establishing himself here, and like I said, the roam game has to be strong. Are we going to see another run out from Clicks? He's playing very aggressive right now, as I think Vigil is trying to ease his way into a hiding spot here, as shots just go flying past the Doc, but none of them connecting. It's all up to the Zofia and the Blackbeard now. This is a great firepower duo here. Blackbeard and Zofia having some of the most powerful guns in the game, but is it going to be enough? Phoenix does take down one. Is he going to be able to take down a couple more? Flick does come in. He takes down 2, and it is now 2v2. Right back to an even match here. Right now, Sharx just have to calm down. They ran into both of those kills, and they keep playing very aggressive. They need to go a little bit more turtle mode. They had the man advantage. This is something we saw last match from Revolt. They had the man advantage, but they weren't able to keep it. But they are able to keep it now, and it's now all up to Snail. 2 versus 1. This is when Sharx just need to calm down. Do not go for that kill. Wait for her to push. They know where she is. They just got to be patient. Sharx gets taken down one operator, and now it is 1v1. That is going to be Clicks And it's going to be up to the Vigil and the Zofia. Vigil looks to be going for a very deep flank here. Who is it going to be? Zofia is, I think, going to get the call out exactly where that Vigil is. But this is exactly playing into favor of Vigil. Lots of time being wasted, and Zofia does not have that diffuser. Actually, yes, she does. That is my fault. Zofia does have the diffuser, and the plant is going to be coming down. And the kill is going to be confirmed there from bot. Snail faked the plant, had his crosshairs lined up, but I think just missed by just a sliver and aimed a little bit too high. Unlucky there for TRA. And just like that, Sharx have tied it all up. And both of these teams are on match point to match point, basically. One win here will put a team on the match point, and I really think whoever wins this round is going to win the map. That is a very hot take. I know you can't predict that much. You're basically probably telling me, why are you predicting so early? Why are you saying that? You can't do that. This is Rainbow Six. This is a fluid game. But I think whoever gets this match point is going to gain so much momentum that they're going to be able to win immediately after. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think this is probably one of the most important rounds for both of these teams. Right now, Sharx have the advantage. They just went 2 unanswered here, and TRA have not gotten any momentum back from being up 4-2 and now have just tied it up. There's definitely some comms issues going on right now. They're definitely going to be having maybe a couple arguments and maybe just a little bit of confusion because they're looking at their gameplay right now and they're saying to themselves, how did we just let this lead slip away and how are we now tied? That's bringing up some problems, I think, in comms, and that's the last thing TRA want to happen. They do not want to let comms get in the way of the way they play. They need to stay strong here. They need to get a good attack, and they need to win here. Or I think Sharx are going to carry that momentum and end the round here, and we won't be able to see a map 3. Momentum and and a huge mistake there on Shark's side, as I think just a friendly fire comes out and it downs one of the players to 50. Huge mistake there. I think a drone actually forced them to shoot into each other. That was a very, very big mistake, and putting one player already down to 50% is a slight advantage given to TRA. And I think right now Sharx do have the advantage, and in order for TRA to really prove themselves and get the advantage back and get some momentum back, they need to clear that roam game very, very quickly. They need to get rid of the roamers. They need to get rid of that alibi. They need to get rid of that Jaeger, because Jaeger of clicks has been the one causing the most problems for sure. You see a blitz coming out, and this is a great operator to get rid of those roamers and just kind of put a lot of pressure onto the defense very early on. And I think that's the exact reason why you see him kind of getting pushed out here and running through the map as quickly as he is. He actually is taking a little bit more time than I expected. There we go. Now he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit and is trying to just figure out exactly where the operators are and maybe try to get a kill out. The shots are going to be coming flying through from the Jaeger onto the Blitz. The Blitz has put into a very tough position here. He has crossfire established almost everywhere, and now they know exactly where he is. But a lot of distraction has been put onto the Blitz as he tries to get the kill, but he does aim down sight, and that's the last thing you want to do. Clicks, though, does get one more kill. Aim down sight as Blitz, what are you doing? And just like that, the alibi is right able to come behind Blitz, but the trade is going to come out. The Clicks is ready to come right back at it, and is now up to just one operator here of Snail. And we are on almost to match point here from Sharx. Almost every operator on Sharx has been in a gunfight. Actually, every operator from Sharx has been in a gunfight, except the alibi, who went down early. If we see this here, Snail has a pretty good opportunity. A lot of these players are low. If he lands his shots with the M762, he can get this and he can establish this clutch just because how strong that gun is. He just needs to play it smart. He needs to take his time, but he also needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Alibi is going to quick peek him and is going to win that battle. And talking so much about the advantage Snail had, it just obviously wasn't enough as Snail goes right down to that alibi And with that SMG that Alibi is using, just very, very little recoil. But Sharx are just proving themselves right now and are playing very, very strong. Coming back from a 4-2 and now onto match point. Like I said, lots of momentum, lots of confidence in favor of Sharx right now. And this is a good position for them. Capkin coming out and Aoeah, two basically trap operators that will slow down a tough push here from TRA, and you're going to need it. TRA are going to need a very strong push. It almost seems TRA have almost lost their flash and have lost the flavor that they were bringing early on in the matches. They were playing so strong, they were playing very aggressive, and now they've lost kind of what they had in the beginning. There was so much flair, there was so much aggression, there was so much pace with the way TRA were playing, and then they lost it just when Sharx tied it up, and now they're putting Sharx on a match point. It's not looking good for them. A lot of confidence has gone out the door. What a guy hasn't been putting up the frags like he was in the beginning, and it's not looking good right now. Lots of the confidence has gone away. Lots of the momentum is slipping in favor of Sharx, and you might just say, well, momentum and confidence, they're just kind of mindset. But a mindset in Rainbow Six Siege has got to be one of the most important things you can have. If your team has a weak mindset and are weak in the mental game of Rainbow Six, you're going to be a bad team. I'm not going to lay it lightly. If your team is weak mentally, you're not going to be good. Obviously, TRA are very strong mentally and have stayed alive against a very strong team of Sharx, but they have to keep that mental game very strong now, and they have to keep that endurance up. That endurance up. If they don't, Sharx are going to slip away with this one, as no pun intended, because they are fish, you know, slippery, but no pun intended there. But they got to get that mental game kind of figured out here. They needed to take a second before this match and say, okay guys, let's calm down, let's start it back up, let's pull out the flash, let's pull out the aggression, let's pull out the pace that we had so early on, and maybe we can establish ourselves very quickly. So Ash is actually going to flash herself on accident and is going to run in here, not going to see the Aoeah, and is going to go down so very early. But Aoeah is going to be traded out there from Snail. Huge trade. That is going to be a roamer taken off of the board. And this is what TRA needed. They need those roamers to be out of the picture. So the trade does come out, but Clix, the roamer, once again, Clix has just been so dominant. He has been so strong these entire matches. The operator you need to kill. Pick back up from Zofia? I don't think so. It is essentially a 2v1 now. You're going to see the run out as Skip come out there and confirm the kill. 2v1. It is all up to Snail. If they win it here, the match goes to Sharx. If Snail can clutch it out, we're going to be seeing an overtime. Great kill there from Snail. Intel has just been given up, and a great crossfire there from Bobby. Sharx win it in a stunner. What a comeback there from Sharx. They played so strong. They had a couple mistakes on attack, but then they were able to just bring it back there on defense, and then with a great comeback. Went from 4-2 to 6-4. Very, very, very strong from Sharx. And overall, just a great match between these two teams. Both of these teams are definitely going to be put onto everybody's radar. They played so strong. They played so fast. And they were some of the best teams we've had. And just like that, though, Sharx are able to take the win.
GG.
Good games, guys.
GG's.
Have a good night.
Good games, brothers.
GG's.
You see the GG's coming
was
out
fun.
from all the teams. But I actually didn't drop my controller. I'm sorry if you guys heard that. Rip the controller. But great games overall from these teams. And just overall great play from Sharx. Great play from TRA. But Sharx were just the aggressor at the very end, and they were able to stay strong. They had the mental game, and after you saw Sharx put it onto match point after coming back, it looked like TRA were starting to collapse, and that's exactly what happened. just a little bit of a mental lapse here, right? Not able to keep it strong. And Sharx were the one to clinch out the win. I'm going to be going on to a slight intermission here, and then we might be able to host a little bit of an interview with the Sharx players. guys were playing on Villa, which is obviously one of the newest maps into the map pool. What was your take on that, and what was your mindset going into it, and what was your mindset finally coming out of it?
I had no clue we were playing Villa until we were on Villa.
Ooh, that's a little rough. What did you guys take away from it after it was over, and like kind of what was your mindset when you finished Villa? What was you think the meta was?
So I didn't really figure out the meta. We knew that like our attacks were definitely weak, so we know after this match coming away that we definitely need to work on that. It was super like we noticed a big difference when we attacked straight on from bedroom to windows.
Yes.
And Box said that that when you put you on 3-speed in Rome, that usually you win too. So Box's nutty aim kind of contributed there as well.
Yeah, and we also saw some just great frags from you guys. It seemed as if every time TRA was crawling themselves back in, you guys just kept coming back with trades. So that was just great play on everybody's part. But that also leads into my last and final question so we can quickly get out of here. It was TRA on Villa. They were one match away from match point for a significant portion of that match. What was the thing that you guys changed to kind of come back and then win the match in the end?
Actually, we're kind of known for throwing a bit at the start of the map. So, usually we're kind of working always on the back foot. And I don't know, we're used to just coming back. That's just our thing.
All right.
We just come back on every team.
All right, that's probably also kind of could be related to the fact it was Villa and we haven't really figured out a statistic or a strat of exactly what we should be doing on that map, so that could always play into factor. But
Absolutely.
Overall, you guys played a great match against TRA as well. Just a great time to watch, and it was just so competitive the entire time. Such a pleasure casting you guys, and really appreciate you guys sticking around for the interview. And best of luck going on to the next weeks of the season.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Give me a host, baby.
I got you.
Oh yeah, daddy.
All right, guys, that's going to be it then for me today. Again, I apologize. My casting kind of jumbled over a couple of words today, and I apologize for all of that. But overall, just great matches today, and we have one more tomorrow. And make sure you guys tune in for that. It's going to be Midpoint going up against Vagant, but there is a slight problem. I got to be honest with you guys. 1 second, I'm just going to turn up my mic just a tad. I got to be honest with you guys. There's a slight problem with the Midpoint game. Vagant, they've had a little bit of a roster issue. I'm going to just be blatantly honest with you guys. They've had a roster issue, and they're missing a couple players on their team. That means the potentiality of that match happening is slowly decreasing, and we might not be able to see a match tomorrow. But possibly, if there is a team that can quickly come into the league and take Vagant's spot, that gives an opportunity for you viewers to quickly come into the league even when registration is closed. So this is an opportunity. Hit that Discord link below, message me, and let's see exactly who is all up for it, who is going to be the team that can maybe take Vagant's spot. But that's going to be it, guys, from me. And again, I apologize, just been jumbling over my words a little bit today, and that's really not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get the best content out to you, and obviously me jumbling over my words during the cast is not that entertaining. So I apologize for that, but obviously I'm just trying to make a platform for these players and make a platform for myself. That's exactly what we did today. We reached, I think, about almost 70 viewers and just a lot of activity in the chat, and it was just so fun with all of you guys, and you guys have really been just building it up even more, and every day it seems to just get a little bit better and a little bit smoother, and I can't wait for this to just continue and to skyrocket off. Appreciate everybody watching, but that's going to be it from me today, and again, great games from both teams and both games, and great games from the games before this, so the days on Thursday and now today and Friday, just great games all around. Now moving on to Saturday, which brings in the question, could we possibly see a team that you guys are watching? Could you guys come into this league and maybe get a team quickly in before, I guess you could say, registration re-closes? But that's just really all up for debate until we see if Vagant can figure out the roster situation. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I will see you tomorrow no matter what, whether it be an update on the roster situation or whether it be a game. So make sure you guys stay tuned because there's going to be big news coming tomorrow no matter what. Thanks so much. See ya.